Walilawa, Dawn and Luluai. The forwards Trindle, Heighton, Lolohea, Purdom, Hopkins and Hamono. And the bench is occupied by Stevenson, Williams, Tukey and Smith. The coach is Tony Ray. Now the Bulls, Leon Price the fullback, then it's Pratt, Reardon, Langley and Vinacolo, Harris alongside Paul. Forwards Fielden, Deacon, Peacock, Myers, Parker and Radford. And the substitutes here, Vanganar, Lynch, Carl Price and young Brett Ferris. The coach is Brian Noble. Well, it's a lovely warm afternoon here in London and the Bradford fans are down in force to see whether their team can win again. London though, 34 tries, 200 points in winning their first four home games of the year. Attendance is up by 20%. And here we go. The match begins. Whoa. It skipped its way towards the dead ball line, and Luluai was almost fooled by that. First tackle of the match.
It was a good job of the second row. Rob Purdom was alert to it. And an awful bounce there.
London will try and out-enthuse Bradford if they possibly can.
That's been their problem, London, over the past few weeks, is that the forwards really have not laid that platform. Because we all know about the Bradford pack. Once they get their momentum going, they're hard to stop, and that's good defence.
Yes, terrific stuff from the Bradford defence. They've restricted London to 5 tackles inside their own half. Here will come the kick from Thomas Luluai. Myers was trying to charge it down. It bounces its way into the arms of Leon Price. And noticing Leon Price in the warm-up, he pulled up a little bit at one stage and just rubbed his Achilles a little. I don't know whether he has a problem, whether he's come into the match with a bit of a knock, but still, he's out there at full back. And that's Paul Deacon at dummy half. Here goes Stuart Fielden. Tackled by Trindle and company, but gets the ball away. Radford now. Heighton hit him. He was the first with O'Halloran. And also in there quickly was Lolohea. Deacon trying to burrow his way through. That's 4 tackles gone. They're just inside the London half of the field.
Well, Deacon was looking there for Stuart Fielden, who just overrun him. They were obviously the tactics from Brian Noble and the Bradford side are very tight. That flat pass.
Leon Price has joined the attack, steps off the right, dabs the kick through, and it's picked up by Nick Bradley. Looking to offload, couldn't. He had Robbie Paul round his ankles and Leon Price up top. This now is McClendon.
Good tactic there as well. Leon Price shaping up from full back into the 3/4 line, making sure that the kick was diagonal away from the forward centres.
Luluai gets the pass away to McClendon. They're over the halfway line. First time. Trindle will drive the ball forward for the Broncos. Halted by the tackle from Rob Parker, the last in this set of 6. And there's the high kick, looking to test out Leslie Vinacolo. I think that was knocked forward though by Mark O'Halloran. That's the view of referee Mr. Lawton as well.
Pretty high kick as well, but Vinacolo didn't really look too interested in it. I don't know whether the referee had shouted that they were offside. Either way, it was the turnover. Good defence by London. They'll be happy with this start.
That's Radford. The tackle by Rob Purdom and also Lolohea. This is Bradley Myers though. He got the ball away and it's been dropped and knocked back. It's been knocked forward.
Certainly was a knock on. I don't know why he tried to offload in such a very tight space. That really was a mistake there by Brad Myers. Tackle was virtually completed. Robbie Paul did his best to try to get to it and also confuse the official, but the touch judge on this side, he was spot on.
So Thomas Luluai will feed the scrum. It comes out to Luluai. He finds McClendon and they go left to Dawn. And then this now is Paul Sykes, who of course made his name originally at the Bradford Bulls. And John Wells. Good run here from the prop forward, Lolohea. Luluai. Chances for London. A drive in by Lolohea again. Heighton waits at dummy half. Diagonal run, and they were alert to that. It was Lee Hopkins, but they're 10 metres short of the Bradford line now. Heighton and Dawn, it goes wide. Sykes.
Great tackle
down
by Stuart Reardon there. Made sure he went on the outside.
Kick across field again, and they obviously feel there is a problem with Vainicolo, and there might be.
Well, they're certainly peppering him. A little doubt in my mind that Mark O'Halloran certainly went for the man rather than the football. Ryan Noble is hoping for a pretty good start. He knows he's got the power in the forwards, and when you look out in the three quarters as well, they're not small, are they, the Bulls?
They're not. We've given away 2 watches already this weekend. We have another one to give away today to the man of the match, Stuart Fielden, with the knock on. Let's hear from Dave Hadfield.
Yes, Eddie, London are looking today for the blend that's eluded them in this string of 5 defeats. We were all thinking that Paul Sykes could be a key man against his old club, listed in his best position of fullback, but he's actually at centre, Mark McClendon at fullback. And the question is always is how they dovetail his creative abilities with those of Luke Dawn and James Lulai back from duty with New Zealand. And Bradford, if they don't find the right recipe, well, they've got the players to punish them, and I think that Iestyn Harris and Robbie Paul have been looking particularly comfortable together at half-back here in recent weeks.
Thanks, Dave, as this attack builds by London with Paul Sykes.
Quick thinking as well there from Sykes. He really has been a form player for the Broncos this season.
He made his Super League debut for the Bradford Bulls way back in 1999. This is McClendon now, just dropped the shoulder, and they got to him. It was an important tackle from Iestyn Harris. This is Luluai, looks for the runner, who is Purdon. That's the last tackle for London. They're just shy of the Bradford line again. Heighton to Luluai, this time a kick to the other side, looking to test Pratt, and Pratt, well, it looked as though Pratt got a hand to that first.
Well, it certainly did. I'm impressed. Tony Ray, London coach. Well, that certainly looked to me as though Carl Pratt got first fingertips. By the way, there he is trying to bring the ball away. Well, good build-up by the Broncos. That'll lift their confidence.
Yes, it's a good start for London, Phil Clark.
It's fantastic. It's been helped by the fact that the last 2 occasions Bradford have had the ball, they've actually dropped it, haven't they, Cole, inside their own half. So, I don't know, it's not been a very positive or enthusiastic start from Bradford, and I guess Brian Noble wants to hope that changes pretty quickly.
Iestyn Harris floats the pass out wide. It's a great ball to Langley, and they've got men in support. Oh, and he took a right clout there from McClendon.
Didn't miss him either. He apologises and rubs the face of James Langley, after, of course, giving him a good hiding before that. Quite a talent, this fella, well, McClendon. Certainly set the world alight in the early part of the season.
To be fair to him, Langley was slipping, and he's got a bit of a bloody nose as a result of that. But here come the balls in the shape of Fielden. Can they turn this territory into points? It's Deacon to Paul to Peacock. Interesting, Jamie Peacock still has to agree a new deal with the Bulls for next year. Deacon pops the ball up again for Harris to run on the diagonal. Once again, it's Deacon at dummy half. It comes back and is picked up neatly by Robbie Paul, who tries to stab the kick through, and it's picked up, and here goes Paul Sykes, and Sykes has got half the length of the field to go. He has support, and I think Sykes is going to get the first try. He is. What a moment for Paul Sykes against his former club. It was a dab through attempt by Robbie Paul, and Paul Sykes was the man who reacted first. He had to cover some ground, and he proved that he's no slouch. And Paul Sykes gets the first try of this match.
It's always a gamble when you do the little probe through like that and there's no one at home. They tried desperately to catch this fella, but watch how he goes on the angle now. He knows that the cover defence is coming at him. Was he pushed away? No problem at that. What a try. You've got to take your opportunities. Not the best kick there from Robbie Paul. As I mentioned before, it's always a huge gamble when you put in a neat little kick short to the line if you're leaving no one behind to sweep up. And there wasn't anyone within cooey. Mr. Sykes gleefully accepts the 4. And what a lift. They fully deserved that. That's the real first time that they've been put under pressure, London. They've been controlling the game up to this point. Take your chances. We saw that last night, Eddie, the way that Wakefield had plenty and squandered them all.
Well, Paul Sykes scored the try. The England international is now about to try and add the extras as well. He kicked 3 goals against the Bulls in March and scored a try, but they were defeated on that occasion at Odsal. But here now they have a 6-point advantage. London 6, Bradford 0.
Well, it's a scoreline that Tony Ray, the Broncos coach, would have been looking for. Knew fully well that they have not been playing all that crash hot. But it's an opportunity to try by this fella. He really has impressed me. Each season he's gone stronger and stronger, and he's full of confidence. That really helps.
Bright start for the London Broncos. We have the coach of the league leaders and of course Super League champions, Leeds Rhinos, Tony Smith, with us. That's a great start for London, Tony.
Yeah, it was. It came against the run of play as far as field position, but London have certainly had the run of play early in this game. They've tightened up a whole lot, London, this week, just defensively and offensively. They're not throwing the ball around as much as they normally would. You know, I just wonder if Tony Ray's tightened them up in training a little bit, because they've been throwing the ball at a gay abandon in some matches, but it's certainly working for them today.
Pomono with the break there, and he got the ball away to Luke Dawn. This is Luluai. Now it's McClendon who stabs it forward. That's easy though for Price.
What a big hit as well. Oh, Price felt that. McClendon bounced up. Look at the pass here. Superb. Pomono got plenty of skills in the offloading department. It's amazing what a try can do. Really has it. I saw London against the Wakefield Wildcats last week, and they were all at sea early in the game. Not today.
This is Harris running flat, and Sykes gets to him, and with John Wells. No way through for Yestin Harris. Now it's with Parker. And the Broncos,
good defense,
they are really lifted by that early try.
They certainly are. And I must say,
Deacon's gone for a 40-20, by the way. And Deacon is going to get the 40-20.
Good thinking.
Yeah. This will be head and feed to the Bradford Bulls.
Tremendous rule, this. Really has opened up our game so well.
Address the 10 metres.
Good thinking.
Standing a metre offside.
Brian Noble, of course, switched Paul Deacon from his normal position half back into the hooking role. But the most important thing is not taking away the vital aspect that he can kick the ball downfield, as we've just witnessed.
Bradford coach won't be panicking yet. There is plenty of time left. Only 12 minutes gone. It's with Leon Price. Langley, the dummy half. Myers was called to go down the blind side, and away he goes. He slipped the net of O'Halloran.
A little bit more urgency needed, I feel, in the Bulls' attacking policies.
Radford to Harris. Pops it back to Peacock. And the captain almost through. This is Deacon. Here is Fielden. Good defence. Low down. And it was by David Heighton. Now Deacon trying to pinch one from dummy half. Just held up and pushed back into the field of play, and on the top of Fielden. Leon Price. Leon Price, not the best pass. They lost a bit of momentum, but they have got men wide, and one of them is Robbie Paul, but it's a forward pass.
Nice effort there by Stuart Reid, and he was falling down towards Terra Furman and just couldn't get their hands free. There was great defence in the end, no doubt about it. Good position by Ronnie Lawton.
Didn't look a forward pass on that angle, did it?
No, it didn't on that angle, and that's probably the reason why these cameras are not used by the video referee to even consider forward passes.
But isn't it great to see an official who was up with the play? That was a pretty fast approach. Went out wide, but he was there. Johnny on the spot. Didn't momentum come into it.
Didn't look a forward pass on that one either.
No.
They're denied though. Mr. Lawton was in the right place to make the decision. The decision he has made.
And he didn't hesitate, did he?
That's what he saw, and that was forward.
Yeah, see how the different angles can confuse you. Oh, that's a poor kick. If there's one person you don't want to put it down the throat, it's this fella. Keep it to ground, anything can happen. As you said earlier, Eddie, Tony Ray obviously feels that the big fella, Varnicolo, is the man that could come up with an error.
They're really struggling, Bradford, at the moment, aren't they? They're having to go across the field. Yes, the Irish for the second time just running straight across field. They need somebody to take them forward, and if you compare them to what London Broncos are doing, it's a far more efficient way of getting downfield.
Peacock trying to get them going forward. They might do here now with Price. He gets them to halfway, but he can't get the ball away. It was good tackling there from Danny Williams.
It's poor second phase as well from the Bulls, but that's great defence, isn't it? Super work there, Nick Bradley.
But it was stolen from him, stolen from Brad Myers.
I just can't believe that a player would steal it there. I think that's to lose carry.
Well,
Every player knows that you're penalised.
Yeah.
On the fourth tackle, a player wouldn't do that. So if you're trying to clamp the ball, Steve, because you know he's a good player at offloading, and the ball comes free, the benefit of the doubt seems to be going to the team in possession too often.
I agree with you to a certain point, but sadly on the replay you could see that it was definitely Rob Purdon that dragged the arm across the ball. I can understand that it can be 50-50.
Here's Myers. And you're not suggesting, Phil, of course, that players try to kid the referees from time to time, I'm sure.
Not on that, no, because they know how costly a penalty is. I don't, Eddie, call me naive, but they're not.
Well, they've conceded another penalty here now, bang in front of their post, London. This time no for offside.
I think they'll go for the tap. Surely they won't go for the two. They know they've got to get try on the board.
That's what they do. Here is Deacon. This is Radford.
They need to stand a little bit deeper as well, Bradford. They're very flat in that attack.
And it was Deacon just feigning to pass the ball to Stuart Fielden. Robbie Paul in at dummy half. Misses out Fielden, finds Price in centre field. Leon Price slips one net. It was a good job that Williams was there. Bit of pushing and shoving as well between him and Price. This is Robbie Paul.
What a tackle.
Great play by Tukey. He felt that, did Robbie Paul. And so did his own man. That's O'Halloran flat out. This is Leon Price. Here is Jamie Peacock. Back it goes to Paul. They can't get through. Can they now with Deacon? No. Once again.
What defence. Unbelievable. O'Halloran, he doesn't know where he is. He's wobbling around.
It's now with Harris. And that's dropped again. And they will try and capitalise London. Here they come in the shape of Heighton. Rob Purdon, the man who dropped on the attempted kick.
Well, they're all at sea, Bradford. There's no spark, there's no fire.
The spark in the London side, though.
There certainly is.
Tony, when your team starting off and it happens in a game, it's a flat beginning, they make mistakes. What is it that kick-starts them into life and gets them doing the things you want them to do?
Well, you just got to get them to communicate, Phil. Sometimes it's the recognition of it. It's very hard once it happens, but you just hope sometimes to make a replacement can spark them up as well. You know, that you send a message on with somebody to get the communication going. It's very evident here that they're flat, isn't it? You know, and one team's really up for it at the moment. So they need to turn it around real quick, Bradford.
Well, justice has been done there. They're trying to offload. Never on from Luluwai. But it looked as though there was a knock-on previous to that. But I agree, there is no spark. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of discussion with each other. I get the impression that all the Bradford players are looking for someone else to produce something. And we've often seen it in the past. If you just get that half break, maybe a try. We've already seen what it's done to this Broncos outfit.
Ball has come free. It's been knocked about all over the place. And the referee has a look at his touch judge, who offers him advice. And it is head and feet at the scrum to Bradford.
It looks as though they've deemed that Francis Stevenson has got a hand to it there, and that's the official knock-on. They look to a little one from a Bradford player. It's a little bit scrappy at the moment. Tony Ray, not too impressed. Might shoot. I've met many coaches around that are impressed when it goes against them.
Leon Price trying to get them going down the right-hand side with Reardon. Price in at dummy half again, and he finds Peacock.
Well, that's silly
another
passing.
pass
It's
that
just
goes to
panicking.
ground. went backwards, says the referee, when Robbie Paul just fumbled it.
Look, I know Jamie Peacock, he's a skipper out there, but this is the time when the likes of Robbie Paul should say, hey, come on, let's get it all sorted out and get back into it.
Into the arms of Vainicolo, though, from Robbie Paul. He comes inside. Luluwai stands his ground.
Here we are, Dave.
It's Deacon who finds Harris. Here is Fielden. And Fielden dumps the ball into the arms of Harris. There's nowhere for him to go. He comes back this way and finds Langley. Langley taking them on, gets the pass away to the Volcano. He flicks it inside. And Francis Stevenson says, thanks very much.
Well, there's an incident going on there. I don't know whether it's foot. There's a trip there.
It's a penalty, London.
Oh, without a doubt. What's the trip coming up? There it is. Oh, no doubt about it. No, it's amazing. That is the very same corner. Homono, well, the Wigan player, I think it was Mr. Aspinwall, that did exactly the same thing, and nothing was done about it. There must be something about that corner, Eddie.
Stevenson, Francis, plays the ball. Heighton gets the ball infield to Tukey. Heighton again, McClendon going across the line. Luke Dawn, it nearly opened up. It had to be a good tackle, and it was from Harris. Here comes Hopkins. McClendon again. He bounces off Fielden. London getting over the advantage line, looking dangerous. The ball bounces into the arms of Luluwai, who attacks the line. He had a great game in the Anzac Test for the Kiwis, didn't he? Trust you watched that with us on Sky Sports the other Friday morning.
Will they pinpoint Vainicolo again? Yes, they will.
It goes high, and Vainicolo has claimed it. He was in the in-goal area. He defused the bomb.
He took it well, didn't he? Fingertips. Well, a good effort there. They took the ball, then was very, very quick to take it the 20 metres. But I must say, I'm looking through this Bradford outfit. They look, not only do they look lost, they look a little bit tired. Lethargic, in fact.
And that's a strategic change. I thought Carl Pratt had come in to actually play at hooker, but he's gone back out there to the wing.
Good play by Robbie Paul. Picked out Williams. Knew that he would not make 10 metres back. This is where it's so important. The experience comes to the fore. Give themselves another 30 metres forward. They'll kick this into the corner.
Responsibility to get the control, play the ball.
And you can hear the official, Ronnie Lawton, laying the law, which is always good to see, Eddie. I like to see the officials communicating with the players.
Paul to Fielden. Bounces away from two. Takes on Hopkins.
Well, the way that this London Broncos side are
That's another penalty. And the referee will surely have a word with the skipper now of London, and they will be on a warning.
Listen, Mark, we're getting a multitude of offences here, aren't we? Well, we've got players selling the ball, and we've got players not square at the ball, and we've got people offside at the 10 metres. Address the problem, clean the ruck area up, a strong 10 metres. Think about it.
Stuart Fielden looking for the penalty, and it was forthcoming, Tony.
Yeah, it was. So I think it was interesting that he's talking about the ruck area. They're all different infringements, though, so he hasn't actually given them a warning there.
The ball's dropped again by Langley.
Again, the flat attack. They've got to change their tactics. They've got to come up with something a little bit different rather than just trying to power their way through. We've seen over the last 3 weeks, that man has changed things around. A little bit more adventure, trying to get the ball out wide, but they just seem on top of each other and trying to force the pass instead of maybe taking the time, putting the ball in the in-goal area, getting another set of 6.
McClendon, great ball, gets it away. Oh, and that was an attempted tackle by Vainicolo.
He's got plenty of speed.
There is a penalty. That's a professional foul by Leon Price on Luke Dawn.
The London players are now saying, we'll put him 10 minutes in the sin bin, but they are forgetting one little factor. It was the London side that had been warned by the official.
Well, he called them out, and he wasn't warning them that the next offence would be in the sin bin, but that is a professional foul, even though he got the ball back.
He gave the tilt.
And they're going to take 2 points that are on offer here. The referee's view of this is that the tackle was completed.
Well, I'm not so sure.
Unless he called it himself, the referee.
Well, I tell you what, if he's called it very, very quickly indeed. Obviously he has. I didn't hear him. Ian Price shakes his head.
The reason I haven't, Mark, is that there's some confusion as to when the tackle was complete. I've deemed that it were. He may not think it were. I don't think it were professionals. Okay.
Well, it's Mr. Lawton's view that it wasn't a professional foul. Mark McClendon shared our view.
Another half a step, please.
And I don't know whether this tackle was completed, Steve-O.
No, he seems to be moving. Definitely the ball carrying arm does not stop. Either way.
Do you have a view, Tony Smith?
I just wonder if Kevin Sinfield does. He got sinned in a couple of weeks ago for a very similar sort of offence on Sky Sports. And, you know, I can appreciate Ronnie's stance on that.
2 points more to Price. London are ahead by 8 points to 0.
Yeah, Mr. Lawton explained himself there a little bit. That there was some confusion. So, you know, I think it was a reasonable explanation. I don't know if I agree with the decision myself, but his explanation for it was quite reasonable, I thought.
Well, there's been a lot of talk, Tony, in regards to the referees and the officials having a conversation with all the coaches. The one thing that came out, which still rather surprises me, that, you know, instead of just the captain on either side having the ability, in fact, the rules state any player out there can question the referee. Surely we've got to change that.
Well, as long as it's done politely, they're okay with it, the referees. So,
talking about politely, how about this from Mark McClendon? This time Leon Price got to him.
Good job he did as well, because he got plenty of speed.
Hopkins gets the ball away.
They're running riot to the London Broncos.
McClendon again gets the pass away. It's Price. It's Sykes, rather.
Should have scored there, Eddie.
He should have done.
Well, London should have. I don't know whether he, but...
Well,
is it Rob
fair,
Parker? That's sensational effort from Rob Parker.
Held up over the line, so the tackle count continues. Luluai got away from Deacon. He's still going. The ball comes out. This is Williams. It's the last. It's the turnover. They went for the power play. They were deep in Bradford territory.
Well, they tested their arm, went for that power play, not
either way,
perhaps what Tony Ray would have wanted.
We're in the month of May. Don't forget it is State of Origin time in Australia later this month. State of Origin 1, Queensland against New South Wales is live Wednesday the 25th of May at 10:30 in the morning on Sky Sports 1.
Don't miss it.
And repeated later on during the course of the day, of course, for those of you who work for a living.
Don't look at me.
Bradford are lethargic, aren't they? They really are.
And not only that, they're very much won out. They're not playing as a unit. And that is a very poor kick.
His footwork's great, though. I mean, the break he set up from the try, the break we saw just a minute or two ago. If any young kids watching this game wants to know what to do this afternoon, get out and practice sidestepping, being evasive, because that's what helps them make the breaks.
Another penalty, Deacon.
Well, it's been a masterstroke as well, Eddie, that Tony Ray has done. He listed Paul Sykes in a normal position at fullback, but he's not using him. He's bringing Sykes in the centres. And the Mark McClendon taking the last line of defence. He really has injected himself into the attacking lineup. And Bradford will be very lucky to stop London from scoring on this set of 6.
Stevenson's upended. Here's Luluai. Finds Tukey. Halted by Vanganar, two of the biggest men on the field there. Heighton back to Luluai. Comes wide to Luke Dawn. He finds O'Halloran. Bradford's defence stands firm, and that's a surprise. Stuart Fielden goes off. He doesn't like to be withdrawn unless he's injured. I wonder. That is Williams. Penalty against Bradford.
2 metres offside,
Yeston Harris was 2 metres offside, said the referee.
Well, they're going to tap it. I would. I think they're that confident that they know that Bradford are on the rack.
Luluai. Had 9 penalties in the opening half hour here. Tukey was on the charge, but Going for glory himself was Heighton. That's how close the Broncos are. It comes back to Luluwai. They give themselves space with Dawn. This now is McClendon. A good job that Robbie Paul stuck to him.
He's got through a lot of defence as well as Robbie Paul.
Bradley to Williams. On to Luluwai. Oh, there's a hole there for Luluwai. Ducks under it. Another penalty.
Well, he's bringing the captain out. Ryan Noble not impressed. Neither is the official.
3 or 4 penalties on top anyway. Justin Harris twice on top, offside inside the 10.
And Justin Harris saying his back foot is over the try line, over the goal line.
Wait till I tell you, Dave. On your line, steer.
Well, they're not
Squeeze
going
that,
for 2 points again. They're going for broke here with Purdom.
And it's the right decision.
Here we are, yes, Dave.
McClendon waits. Comes back down the middle with Stevenson.
Settle down, Franny.
Now they watch Luluwai bring someone perhaps back on the angle, back towards the sticks.
Quick play the ball there. Heighton to Luluwai. It goes wide to Hopkins. He's in. London increased the lead. That's been coming for a while on the back of successive penalties. And Lee Hopkins scores the second London Broncos try in the sunshine here at Griffin Park.
Fully works. They could have gone for the easy option on 2 occasions within the space of 60 seconds. 2 quick taps, applied the pressure, and why not? Because I can assure you, this Bradford side, they are still on the coach. They're nowhere near London.
I think they feel as though Justin Harris was impeded here, though. Certainly.
No, there's nothing in that at all. He tried to make out as though he was impeded. In fact, it was a very poor effort, watch, to just wrap his shoulder around it. It's just poor defence. They're not getting themselves in a good position, and this fella is having a great season too, Lee Hopkins. There's nothing better than the second rower to run way outside with the centres. Goes away to the line, and you little beauty. I think you might be happy. Well, that's the most excited I've seen Tony Ray in 20 years.
Yes, he normally keeps his emotions under wraps, doesn't he?
He has been under a bit of pressure of late.
Well, they come into this match on the back of 5 straight defeats, London. And Tony Ray now is down on the sideline. He's talking to John Wells, I think. Yes, there he is, having a word. Now, where's the technical area here at Griffin Park? A lot of talk about... I didn't know there was a technical area in rugby league grounds. I thought that was reserved for soccer stadiums. Oh, what a great kick from Sykes again. Wow, London are ahead by 14 points to 0, and Bradford have it all on now.
We've been talking about that second phase that has not been for Bradford, but it certainly has been for London. Dummy runner through. That was a feeble attempt there. They really should have gone into with numbers. They failed, went back. There you can see Justin Harris appealing to the referee, but this guy was scoring the points. Get on with the game. This is going to be a hard road for the Bulls. The fans who have travelled down to the capital are far from impressed. In fact, they're stunned in the sunshine.
Hope they brought the factor 8 with them as the sun comes out. Glorious day now. And McClendon.
Well, they certainly won't get their hands warm by clapping, because they've had nothing to clap about.
Oh, and Bradley Kualalawa just goes without the ball from acting halfback, and he is disgusted with himself.
I don't think his playing mates will be impressed either. It's always a chance when they get a bit excited, and they should be excited at 14-0. Now they're now good at Bradford. Can they come back?
Harris couldn't get around Mark McClendon. Leon Price, Jamie Peacock. Bradford needs something special. They need something quickly.
They certainly do, Eddie, but the thing is, they're not going to get it from just one-out football. It's boring.
Robbie Paul showed it to Vangenaar, gave it to Myers. Bradley was all round him. Paul to Radford. Looked a touch forward as well, maybe that pass. It's all about angles though, and this is Deacon. Steps inside one. Good tackle low down from Francis Stevenson. Here's Yestin Harris. Now it's with Leon Price. Flick pass to nobody in particular. Kick forward.
He's offside.
And he's offside. Jamie Peacock is offside.
Well, that just sums up this Bradford Bulls outfit at the moment. They've got no idea. Look at that. What was wrong with actually putting your body on the line and saying, I wouldn't mind a little bit of this pill. I wouldn't mind a bit of possession.
Well, he was accidentally offside, and then he kicked the ball second time, and he's conceded yet another penalty.
Shouldn't have been kicked in the first place.
I think that was a really important set for London. Make an error in your own half and then defend it. You know, it showed a lot of steel in their armoury there today. You know, then the way they're defending, it's a lot more committed than it has been. And I just think that was a really, really important set for them. And had Bradford have scored there, they're right back in this game. It could have given them that lift that Phil was asking about earlier. But, you know, it's taken something special from Bradford to lift them today.
This is Purdon.
And of course Bradford have to be very careful. Can't afford to give away a silly penalty, play the ball. Otherwise they're going to be down to 12. Sin bin has been called for by the official.
Pass to McClendon. Here is Trindle.
What a tackle.
Just back on the field.
Great tackle
McClendon
from
again.
Harris.
Hopkins. Wide it goes to John Wells. He's going for it himself is Hopkins, and he's dragged over the line and into touch.
Well, with the turnover, it was on the last. Good defence there by Stuart Reardon. Had to be as well. Now Pratt going low. It was worth a chance in that far corner, mainly due to the fact that even if it had been a kick through, they realised to London that they will have this Bradford side who are not hitting any high spots at all, way down in their own quarter. Well, that was different. We saw a little bit of a run around in their own 20.
Lynch can't get away. He has not played from the start yet. Andy Lynch, he was one of the major close season signings from Castleford. Here he is again, with every opportunity he has had has come off the bench.
Well, we've just seen 4 passes there and they've made 2 metres forward. They need a shake-up.
Harris, has he gone for another 40-20? Deacon is limping rather heavily as well, by the way, as John Wells runs this ball back at them. It's all London.
Certainly is, and a few of the Bulls forward finding it very, very... Well, he's got to go. Yep. Got to go.
There's another warning.
Well, he's already warned them, hasn't he?
Play the ball there. All right. He's slung no hand. He's got a hand. He's making no effort to get out. You're on a final warning. All right, next one. Jamie, next one goes in bin.
Next one is in the sin bin.
They were for other offences before, Steve-O. They were for offside that he gave him the warning about. Now I think he's given him another warning for a different incident, which is fair enough.
And another thing as well, Tony, is that this Bradford side, they look as though they're more intent in complaining with the official rather than getting on with the game that they're paid for. And that, by the way, fellas, I'll shout it out, is rugby league.
Precisely. That's what we've all got to do. We all make mistakes, coaches, players, even commentators sometimes, Steve-O.
Absolutely.
We've got to get on with it after the referee makes his decision, haven't we?
We certainly have, and not... Yeah, most of the time, okay.
Gotcha, Steve-O.
Hopkins waits dummy half for London. Here is McClendon. And a good little diagonal run coming in then from Tyrone Smith.
And he's a great player. You know, if they can get the ball to him in the next 50 minutes of this match, you'll see some action with it.
It's Luluai and Dawn.
Great tackle again. The one thing he is doing right, Justin Harris, he's getting low, making sure he's taking the legs away.
Oh, the pass from Luluai was just in front of Wells and he couldn't get to it.
There's a problem for Sykes as well. He got a real clatter in there when he went as a dummy runner. Poor pass in the end. A real let-off for this Bradford side. Well, Brian Noble, he must be absolutely mystified. It was only last week he said that he felt his team were back to its best.
Carl Pratt, and that was...
Play on.
Yes, it was an attempt by Luluai to make the tackle. The ball shot forward. Had he gathered that, it would have been very interesting.
It would have been play on.
Here is Myers. The pass, though, is awful. And London have got over 1 minute left to attack this Bradford Bulls line for another try.
Well, we know that Brad Myers does nothing better than to run out wide into the centres, but sometimes, you know, when you're selected as a second rower, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do a bit of work up the front instead of using the wingers, like Vainikolo.
So they're inside the last minute, and this is a great opportunity. Dawn. Because 14-0 at half-time is gettable for Bradford. 20-0, it could be a different story. Trindle gets the ball away, and it's flicked on and further wide. Sykes. Wells will score!
Yep. Wonderful effort.
And the way that Sykes is kicking, they could have 20 points to their name at half-time. John Wells with the try. Well, he had a word with his coach, Tony Ray, not too long ago, and Brian Noble has got a rebuilding job to do in that dressing room at half-time.
This is a mistake. Panic in your own half. Why? Just basics. Get back into it. They know they're all at sea. Take nothing away from the Broncos. They force the pass. But look at this. What a pass out wide for Sykes, and what a finish by Wells. Well, it's amazing. They're just not the same side as we've been witnessing over the last 3 weeks, the London Broncos. They're rejuvenated. They found that form that the coach was pleased with. Then the same man said that they were playing the best brand of rugby anywhere in the capital. Can't disprove him. Not with play like this.
I think that Mr. Noble might have a couple of words to say in a couple of seconds.
I'm glad I'm up here, well away from the action. Because there'll be plenty.
Sykes is going to try and add the extras to make it that 20-0 scoreline. Whatever happens, because the siren will sound after this, it's the first time that Bradford have failed to score a point in the first half of a match this year. Kicking well, isn't he? He's kicking quite well. It's 18-0 at half-time. 3 converted tries is the gap between the two teams, and Brian Noble has got some work to do if the Bradford Bulls are to come back here at Griffin Park. He's waiting in the tunnel. Wonder if he wants a word with Mr. Lawton. They're 18-0 up, London.
But one thing that Tony Ray will be very pleased with is the fact the way that Mark McClendon that's a bad start.
That's not the start that London would have scripted. Sykes' kick-off before Tony Ray even claimed his seat in the stand.
I don't think he
knows.
knows.
Out on the fall.
He may not know until someone tells him now, but just trying to make that point. Look at that. That is a massive error. The way that McClendon's played well at full back, and also the return of Thomas Luluai has strengthened them, made them a little bit more, well, steely in the middle. And the way that Rob Purdom, he really is a good quality player, especially in defence.
Well, Bradford looking for early points in the shape of Jamie Langley, the England international. Deacon to Robbie Paul. I must say it's laboured, the build-up from Bradford.
It's one out, there's no dummy runners, and that means they're not working for each other.
And here now is Vainikolo, but they close the door on him. Deacon, Robbie Paul. Now then, Harris. Back it goes to Peacock. Nearly ran into Leon Price then. Instead of that, he runs into a 3-man ambush. Last tackle, Deacon and Harris, and Yestin Harris. They get the first try, which is just what they wanted. Yestin Harris with the try for Bradford.
Well, it was
and will
shocking.
That spark the revival?
Well, it certainly should do, but that was shocking, wasn't it, from the kickoff? You really cannot afford to do that. Full credit to them. This is the mistake. Directly in the touch is a penalty to the opposing side. Good work from Harris there. No way he was going to be stopped. Watch how he looks and takes the angle. That's good stuff. Luke Dawn had no chance to stop him. See how he fended with the left arm, punked it down. Well, you mentioned it, Eddie. They had to score pretty quickly. Doesn't come much better than that.
No, it couldn't have come much earlier. You're right. Iestyn Harris with the try. They've won on their last 6 meetings with London and their last 3 visits to Griffin Park, Bradford. They've given them an 18-0 start this time. It's currently 18-4. This kick to come from Deacon. And he misses. So 18-4 it stays. Harris's try, though, just what Brian Noble would have demanded of his players at half-time.
Well, I get the impression that Mr. Sykes may be kicking this ball a little bit further in field. I'm sure that Tony Ray would have got that message straight out to him. It's well, from actually controlling this game with considerable ease, they find themselves in a little bit of a nervous situation now.
Vanganar. And here is Price, and this now is Peacock, and he's getting forced back. Good defence from London. Iestyn Harris, by the way, it is 6 years ago to this very day that he led the Leeds Rhinos to Wembley triumph in the Challenge Cup final against the London Broncos. And of course the Challenge Cup comes back into focus this weekend. Good run from Bradford.
Much better.
Nice tackle though.
A lot eager. One more eager. They're trying to play the ball quickly. That's a good kick as well.
It stands up for McClendon though, and he will counter-attack. Harris, the man who gets to him first. Chris Warren has been earwigging at the dressing room doors with the coaches. What's been said, Chris?
Well, Eddie, I wasn't quite earwigging. I did it legitimately. I just simply asked Brian Noble, what do you need to do? He said, Chris, we just need to rediscover the form that we've had over the past couple of weeks. They scored 94 points and conceded only 4 tries in the past 2 games. Those matches were at home. On the road, it's been a little bit of a different story. Tony Ray spoke this morning about to his team making the little things big again. When they were doing that, doing the simple stuff, then on the back of that, they could build the razzle-dazzle. He's been very happy, but he said he'd like to see it lift to one more level, if that's possible here. On the injury front, Francis Stevenson, he got a cut to the mouth. He hasn't had it stitched. It's not so much the blood problem, but he is concussed, and I doubt we'll see Francis Stevenson take any further part in the game.
Good kick by the second rower, Lee Hopkins. Knows the importance of putting them in a very good position after conceding that early try. And the way that Bradford spilt the ball in the first 40, that's not a bad option either.
Scrum forms 10 metres away from the line, 20 metres in from touch.
That was a high one. He was going down.
Luluwai penalised. Carl Pratt got up off the floor immediately and just...
He ducked underneath it. It just scraped the top of his head. Sometimes it's an advantage to have a short hairstyle.
Wait for his fault!
Vanganar to drive it forward. Ooh, Lee Hopkins has been hurt. And the touch judge is on. Now then.
As he used the forearm. Someone should get to him very, very quickly.
There could be major problems here for Joe Vanganar.
He certainly brought up the forearm. But I think that's into the chest. Well, it's hard to say whether it's in the neck or the sternum, but either way, slow motion.
Captain, please. Mark.
I really don't think there's anything too badly with that.
First of all,
he's carrying the ball very high, isn't he, Joe Vanganar?
I'm not sure exactly where contact's been, but I've seen the arm before the arm being raised, right? What's going to happen, listen to me, what's going to happen, we're going to penalise Bradford, right, and the incident's going to report. We're going to have the league have a look at it, OK?
It's on report. As soon as I saw the touch judge come on with the flag up, I thought there might be a problem for big Joe Vanganar. It's a penalty to London.
Forearm coming up.
Well, it's a forearm virtually into the chest. It's utilised by most forwards. I don't think there was any real intent. It wasn't as though he jerked it up at the last minute to make sort of contact. Either way, they won't be complaining.
Well, it's on report, and the authorities will have a look at that later this week. Here is Trindle. Oh! That was a big hit on Trindle. Here is Williams. Suddenly the game's got a little bit feisty.
And good play by Williams. You know, it's taken him a while. He was out for such a long time, suspended in Australia.
This is Sykes.
He's getting back into the swing of things now.
Suddenly we've got a Super League match on our hands, haven't we? It's lifted. Luluai. This is Lolohea. Better defence from Bradford on show so far. Hopkins is okay. Luluai away from a couple, over the top, and further wide, and wide again. Brilliant. Brilliant try, that is, from Tyrone Smith. Great hands. But the referee has asked the video referee to take a look at it.
He can't go for a forward pass. Was there an obstruction? Now Luluai definitely utilises one of his players, and that dummy runner runs right into Deacon, Robbie Paul, sorry. I think this may be written off. Looks to me as though there's somewhat of a shepherd on Robbie Paul. Yeah, I think he's taking Robbie Paul out.
It probably didn't affect, though, how that try unfolded, did it? And the skill that London used and the numbers they had out wide. If you think that the Bradford defender, is it Stuart Reardon outside Paul, he'd have still probably come in here.
No, I think that's
that guy
obstruction,
there,
yeah.
It's Langley, rather.
Well, he's impeded Robbie Paul from getting anywhere near to the scrum half. And as far as I'm concerned, this really won't be a try, but I'm not the video referee, and if they look for the grounding, then I think they'll give it, but I think he's quite convinced that this is no try.
Well, Jerry Kershaw is the video referee. What's his version of events? Given. The try is given. It deserved the try, certainly, to Tyrone Smith, because it was brilliantly fashioned. All right, a slight doubt, but the doubt was eradicated by Jerry Kershaw, and London have responded. Tyrone Smith with his 5th try of the season.
Keeping the ball alive. We mentioned the fact, didn't we, that he has utilised his return, and it is a good finish. To my way of thinking, they've got away with it. Rob Purdham certainly impeded, but what a beautiful offload from Mark McClendon. He has been superb as McClendon. Very lucky there, but they got away with it. Tyrone Smith, and that hill is turning into a mountain, isn't it? Well, I think he's taken out there. But as I said before, I have been wrong before. And look what it means to this London crowd. It's TRY, all right.
Yes, it is. And Tyrone Smith, the man who was brought to this club by Tony Ray from the Roosters in the close season, has missed the last 4, but he has marked his return with a try. Now then, Sykes has missed. 22 points to 4.
And fully deserved as well. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Not with the finishing, that was for sure. And the video referee, Jerry Kershaw, I must say, one of our more experienced video referees. He was confident.
Tyrone Smith, 21 years of age, and you know, after a couple of years when they looked to the UK for their recruitment, London have opted to go to Australia and New Zealand again this year, and they certainly have a more competitive side than they had this time last year, that's for sure. Luluai at the heart of it, gets it away to Purdham. 10 minutes second half, we've had a try apiece, but the 18-0 advantage that London built in the first half is back to 18 again. That's good tackling by Stuart Reardon. Sykes couldn't get away then. McClendon to Trindle, on it goes to Williams.
Good hard solid work by the forwards, now a good kick and chase.
Luluai with a dab over the top, and Peacock was taken out in the air then, was he?
Well, he certainly looked that way. Luke Dawn put him under a lot of pressure.
Leon Price trying to make the break, gets the ball away. That was touched by Sykes. He'll wipe the tackle count down here, referee Mr. Lawton.
And he has. And I think that would be the first time that they've got into a second set of 6. albeit by the fact that London have just touched the football. But there wasn't many completed sets either from Bradford in that first half. 5, I do believe.
This is Lynch again.
They need to be a little bit more adventurous, Bradford, as well.
Robbie Paul. Danny Williams just stood his ground. This is Harris again, and it's with Reardon. Tries to go around Sykes. Reinforcements arrive. Harris, Deacon, and Lynch. Still going, Lynch.
There again, Eddie, we see a big forward like Lynch looking for the offload, but there's no second phase.
And that's going to be back to 0, is it? Yes, it is. Another set of 6 here for Bradford. And now it's with Peacock trying to step inside again. Offloads to Leon Price, and Price goes back from whence they came. 3 metres short of the line. Robbie Paul trying to spin his way over. Good tackle. And this now is Fielden.
Again, where is the second phase? They're just not supporting.
Deacon, Robbie Paul, Harris, plenty of numbers here, and Reardon goes over the line for another try. Had to stretch to pick that up. Try is given by Mr. Lawton. Reardon with the try.
Tremendous link. 2 wonderful passes, got it way outside the defence. That was the first one. And then look at this. Harris. Beautiful stuff. John Wells get caught out there, right out on the left wing. He finds that he's in a lot of trouble. Boom. Can't get back in time. Quality player Reardon. Not much atmosphere at this end. All the Bradford fans down at the other posts. What a try that they needed.
Well, that's 2 of the 3 that they needed, but Brian Noble will be a little bit easier with himself now, Tony Smith, but they've conceded 1 at the other end as well. That wasn't in the script.
No, they didn't need to let London in for that one. You know, there's a long way to go for both these teams yet. You know, London don't want to drop now. They've built a healthy lead. 2 or 3 tries can come quickly against you sometimes, but I don't know, there's still that flatness there from Bradford. It's going to take a real almighty effort. I think Robbie Paul's really trying hard for him to spark them up here, and they need a few more of them.
And their supporters trying to lift them as well, and they're here in number.
Are you finding, Tony, as I am, that there's no support play? It's very unlike Bradford. That second phase, usually 1 or 2 sniffing around, but there's no one.
No, I agree with that. They haven't been energetic, and you know, they got him on the outside there. I think London will be bitterly disappointed with that. You know, to be beaten with 2 long passes on the outside rather than Bradford really breaking them down.
Well, Fielden has returned to maybe spark something. Taken off midway through the first half, and he will have been stung by that. He likes to do 80 full minutes, or 4,800 seconds, as Mr. Clark so often reminds us. But he doesn't like being withdrawn, does he, Phil?
No, he doesn't. No, he wants to be out there in the thick of the action. I suppose what he's got to hope now is that he makes an impact when he's on the field for his team. He and Peacock, I think, are the 2 best players at taking the team forward. They break through a couple of tackles, they get a quick play of the ball. But we haven't seen too much of that, really. They haven't bent the London defensive line backwards too often. Here, Peacock with a charge for him.
But it's a charge that starts about 2 metres before they receive the ball. They're not hitting the football at pace. They're standing and waiting for the ball to reach them. Leon Price, high kick, and there's no pressure on McClendon. But they have to give him 10 metres because they were all in front of the kick.
I still think, Eddie, that the Bradford Bulls will win this game.
That's a big call, Phil.
It is. 25 minutes to go. They're just 12 points behind. I think they've played better in the second half, and in the final quarter of matches, they have dominated their opponents. I still think they'll come back and win.
It was a good offload that by Nick Bradley. Thomas Luluwai picked up the loose ball. This now is Tyro Smith. That's a great pass to Luluwai, but again Luluwai was standing still, but he gets half away from Robbie Paul, finished off by Parker. Here is Chuki.
Good run. See how he just sucks in the defenders. He's got to get up quickly if he can.
Last tackle here for London. Here comes the kick from Luke Dawn. High, wide, and Wells palms it back. Sykes still on the last. There's the kick now across the other way, and far too deep.
Oh, Stewart just...
The Stewart tackled Leslie Vinacolo. Not, or did the... there he is. Or did the Volcano tackle the Stewart?
No, I think it just slipped over, actually. Or maybe he just saw Vinacolo out the corner of his eye and said, I'm not having any of that.
And ducked.
See that tackle ended there?
Oh, no, it was nothing to do with Leslie.
What? He stopped in time. Wouldn't you go backwards?
I'm just saying, those last two tackles there from the Broncos have driven Bradford back on both occasions, and that's what you don't usually see from the Bradford side. When you ask what's going wrong, it's winning that little collision, running that bit harder than the guy who stood in front of you and ended up on your front, playing the ball quickly.
Robbie Paul is trying hard and gets a good offload away to Reardon.
A lot more urgency, and
That's an interesting stat there. They've got 6 interchange options left, Bradford.
Well, with Tony Smith, it's the fact that Robbie Paul is making a lot of runs now, injecting that urgency. Quick tap, good thinking by Harris.
They're 15 metres away from the London line. They're hunting a third try with Lynch, now with Fielden. It was very flat. This is Fielden again. Quick play the ball. Lynch looking for the try. Gets it back to Robbie Paul. Changes the direction of the attack, showed it to Parker. Flicks it then to Harris. A little bit down a blind alley at the moment, Bradford. Robbie Paul. Leon Price. Got Brett Ferris with him. Looked for the support and has a right go at his teammates. Nothing there. Peacock. Poor ball, nicely picked up by Andy Lynch.
Well, it's like you have a go next and I'll have a go next, instead of just supporting each other.
This is Fielden. He's over. Stuart Fielden's over. Try for the Great Britain International. The young player of the year in 2000, Stuart Fielden. Boy, he's matured since then. He has been withdrawn in the first half for tactical reasons by Brian Noble. He's come back and he's grabbed the try.
Poor defence. They're falling off. But the build-up to that would not have pleased Brian Noble. OK, he'll be happy with the 4 points, but how many times did a forward attempt to go that way, turn and look? Anybody there? No. And they've been lucky to get away with that try. But it's panic stations now for the Broncos.
Yes, the alarm bells are ringing for London suddenly. They look comfortable at half-time. Deacon to try and add the extras here. It's 22-14. It's 22-16. And the Bulls are clawing their way back into a match that looked beyond them at half-time. But Phil Clark did say privately, and he has said publicly, the Bulls will win this.
I think they will, won't they? I think things are going their way. I hope they don't in many ways, because I think London, they've put such an effort in. I just see it being a very unhappy ending for them. They're though in control of their own destiny, Eddie, and what they do now for the next 20 minutes will decide whether they do go home happy.
Let's hear from Chris Warren on the sideline.
Eddie, very deceptively warm down here. I've had to shed the coat. You might think that to the back end of this second half, Bradford being the bigger side might tire, but London are looking a little bit tired themselves. Tony Ray's got 4 forwards on the bench sitting in front of me. Francis Stevenson unlikely to return. They've already used more substitutes than the Bulls, so it looks as though Bradford could steam home in the back end.
And they will if they get penalties like that. That's the second kick-off that Sykes has thumped out on the full.
Well, that's suicide. Absolute suicide. He must be distraught, sat in the stands there, Tony Ray, the London coach.
It's Fielden again. Oh, they've let him go. The tackle was not completed. They just let him go. Movement from Robbie Paul. He finds Jamie Peacock, and Peacock still going. He's just shy of the line. A metre short. Deacon gives it to Harris, and wide it goes to Vinacolo. Bradley did well. He stuck to him. Got the ball away though to Parker, I beg your pardon. Here is Deacon. Here's the Volcano.
Great defence. Superb stuff in the end.
So they will now come this way. That's a lovely little dab through. They're looking, oh, well claimed. Very well claimed by Lee Hopkins. They were looking for Fielden then.
What a great effort from Hopkins. Just threw himself. Just like Superman going through the air there to take that ball, diffuse the little chip over the top. Now field position is very important, and that's what they need to do now. They haven't had much chance with the football for quite some time, London.
2 good rushes from London, and that's the 3rd one.
They can't throw it away. They've got to make sure to turn this Bradford side around, make sure that they can kick into the in-goal area.
Ball's come free.
Oh, that's a
knock on.
That's a horrible mistake. Well, they don't want to win it. Full control. 2 occasions where they've kicked off straight into touch. They're just falling apart, Phil.
They are, aren't they? And they're coming up with the mistakes. The pitch today, it's got a lot bit harder. The weather's got warmer. You've commented on it, Eddie. And Stuart Fielden's actually playing in training shoes that you don't see very often. The grass shoes, actually, but not his conventional boots that a lot of players play in.
This is Brett Ferris.
Very trendy, I must say.
I can see you wearing those next week.
I've got a pair.
They're not working. It's Harris.
I've got the walking style.
Now then, Fielden.
They've got to dig deep now, London.
It's suddenly swung very much Bradford's way. Brett Ferris again. 19 years of age, this young man. He's missed the last 2.
Well, there's far too long to go for London to be even thinking about trying to close up the shop. They've got to be as adventurous as they were in the first half. Make
Great
sure
offload.
the defence is good, though, and it's not.
Great offload from Paul to Andy Lynch.
410.
Well, Tukey was about 2 metres offside then. This is Ferris. Pass out the back door to Carl Pratt. And Carl Pratt looks for the support that arrives in the shape of Leon Price.
Well, Pratt ran across 5 of his teammates, and only 1 wanted to come back on the inside and confuse the defence.
Here's Harris. A dab to the in-goal area. It's watched all the way by Mark McClendon.
What a games he has.
17 minutes to go. 6 points the difference. Boy, we've had some great stuff on Sky Sports this weekend, haven't we?
Sure have. There's a lot of missed tackles going on with London just at the moment. They've hit a bit of a wall here in the last 5 to 10 minutes. But having said that, I'm really impressed with the job that they've done on Leslie Vanicola here today. They've contained him exceptionally well. It'll be interesting to see whether they can do that for the remainder of the game. He's the sort of bloke who could blow this game open. Now, I'm just not sure if he's 100% at the moment. And same with Leon. He just doesn't look as sharp today.
I'm sure I saw him, Tony, in the warm-up just down in front of our commentary position here. He was feeling the Achilles. There's no doubt about that. He just pulled up short.
Yeah, even on one of those chase backs on the try, he just didn't look to have the same sharpness. We might see some yet.
Well, here he is. Right on cue. Right on cue. Leon Price clawed to the ground by McClendon. Quick play the ball. Reardon will take it on again for Bradford. And
Great
it's
play.
again McClendon who gets to him.
Wonderful play there. Enthusiastic. Was certainly not shown in the first 40 minutes.
They know they can possibly win this. Here is Carl Pratt. Now it's wide to Stuart Fielden. And Fielden going for the line himself.
They've got to be careful getting him out wide.
Harris. And Harris looks. There's no movement. So he gives it to Robbie Paul, who finds Brett Ferris. And Ferris was thinking of the offload. Now it's Harris again. Infield it goes to Peacock. He's over. And Bradford are going to be level in a minute. Incredible comeback from the Bulls. And Tony Ray, he can see a match that was in his pocket suddenly slipping away from him.
Well,
the captain's part from Jamie Peacock.
We've been complaining about the fact that Bradford are not supporting, but they don't need to if the defence is going to be as bad as this. He made mention on Price not 100%. He still did well at 98, didn't he? And you can see it's a very tired London defence. They're hanging back. People coming out of the one line. That's not good. Solomano Momono certainly made a real meal of it. And when they stand and dance and be able to get the momentum going, that is a soft try. Not that they'll worry about it. Look how they come out of the one line of defence. Nothing you do about it. McClendon had no hope. And they're down and out at the Broncos, I'm afraid. It's going to take a big effort to stop the roll now from the Bradford Bulls. This is a vital kick.
It is, and it's the man who kicks them for fun normally, Paul Deacon. And the scores are level here at Griffin Park, 22 apiece. 18-0 London half-time, and Bradford have got themselves back into the match.
Eddie, when I made that comment at half-time to you saying that I think Bradford will come back and win, it wasn't just a fluky guess. I looked at their performances in the second half for the last 2 weeks. Last week against Wigan, they won the second half, 26 points to 0, and the week before against Huddersfield, they scored 34 points in the second half. It's the strength and the size of a lot of the players that drains their opponents, and in the second half it becomes more evident.
Fact of the matter is, though, for Brian Noble, they cannot give teams 18-point start every week.
Why not? It gives us the excitement.
Hang on, fellas. Bradford haven't won it yet.
No,
There's still a long way to go.
But they look the most likely to.
I know they do, but they have had all the possession, they've had all field position. It usually has a way of just turning around. This is not over yet. Don't put the cue on the rack.
Penalty against London. Everything's going wrong for them now. That's the 10th penalty that Bradford have received.
Well, I'm not so sure that was taken out. He lost control of it, Field, and that is a very poor penalty.
They're all over. The trouble is they're all over the top of him as he's trying to get back on his feet. He's given it for stealing, by the way. He didn't give it for interference at the play of the ball. Williams slams Stuart Fielden into the ground. This is Harris. Now Peacock again. That's better defence from London.
You've got to keep coming up as a unit, as one line. And that does happen when you start to get tired. One man's a lot fitter than the other, so he's eager to get out there. Other times they just hang back enough. That's where the gap appears.
Peacock trying to drive a hole through the middle of Rob Purdom.
Well, it's been the Peacock and Fielden show in the second half, hasn't it? Then they've shown the way, got over the advantage line, showing a lot of strength.
Leon Price again. He's lost his footing. Hurt in that was Leon Price, got a bang on the head. Oh, and it's come up for Parker. He's got the support, and they're over behind the sticks again. And it's Langley. Langley with the try. They took the gamble, and it has come up for them. Langley with the 8th try of the campaign, and the Bulls hit the front.
Superb chip over the top from Robbie Paul. Oh, Parker did ever so well as well. Took the ball and away he went. That is fantastic. Just shows you what confidence can do. Chip over the top. Didn't he take it well, Rob Parker? Langley finishes it off. Certainly not what the doctor ordered if you're a London fan, but full credit to them. Well finished. But that man, Robbie Paul, and the two stages, Jamie Peacock, Stuart Fielden, have turned this game in the second half. Hard work to start with, and then the skill from Robbie Paul. And his eagerness has been a key factor.
And the fans behind the sticks at the other end have suddenly found their voice, because Bradford are ahead by 28 points to 22. Tony Smith, what would you think if your name now was Tony Ray?
You'd be gutted. You'd be gutted after that first half performance. That's if you believe it's over. You know, if you're Tony,
Phil and I think it is.
If you're Tony Ray, you don't think it's over. You know, you wouldn't be gutted at this stage. You'd be still trying your hardest and sending out the best messages and making them a replacement.
He's done it
that's
again.
The third time.
He's done it again. That's an unwanted hat-trick.
I can't believe
for
that.
Paul Sykes.
I mean, why don't you just hit the ball sharp on a low trajectory into the ground? We've already mentioned the fact it's extremely hard. Hard of the ground, the ball will bounce anywhere. I just cannot believe what is happening out there. 3 times.
You can't afford to do that. You give games away doing that.
That's what they've done, isn't it?
I've coached teams that's happened to before. We used to kick it out at in my early days quite regularly, and you lose games on the back of those sort of errors. So,
well, instead of defending at that end, Bradford now, or at least attacking from that end, Bradford now attacking at the London end of the field.
Yeah, they're being gifted.
They've gifted 50 metres.
Yeah.
Plus from the penalty, of course.
And of course, from those two, they've scored 2 tries.
And they might score another here because Harris has found Leon Price. Oh, they've got men out wide, but Price went the wrong way. He went up the middle. It was a 3-on-1 overlap down that left-hand side. Come back this way again with Harris. And here now is Radford. Harris waits. Fielden was the runner. It's found its way to Brad Myers. And Myers, well, they somehow keep him out. Harris. Paul, and on it goes to Deacon. Drop goal from Deacon. Now then, 6 points the gap. A 1-pointer stretches it to 7. Well, we didn't even call for that.
Didn't have to. I knew he was going to go for it.
And is that good tactics, Tony?
Of course it is.
Yes, very much so. Turns it into a 7-point gap, not a 6-point gap. So, yeah, they've got to score twice, London. And just the way they walk back from that, you know, up to the halfway line, it doesn't look like they're going to do that.
And he's not gone long this time. It went 10, and it found touch this time. And they will get the feed, the London Broncos.
You have to admire his bravery there, Paul Sykes. He's made 3 kicks that have gone out of the full. So even to go for that play, and he takes some, you know, that's good play.
I think he's anxious to make amends, isn't he? He would love now to get over for a try in this second half, Paul Sykes. Now then, can London come back with McClendon?
They've had little possession, little position. This is where they've really got to work hard. It's not out of it yet. Okay.
And they've used all of their 12 allowed substitutes, London. So what they have out there now, they go with till the end of the match, which is 7.5 minutes away.
Well, they went for power, didn't they, on the bench? And it could turn against them, but still plenty of time.
And they're in a good position here. And they're going right with Luluai, who finds O'Halloran. And Bradford have now read the book, and they have remembered how to tackle. McClendon. Good ball to the prop forward Lawler here, but Bradford muscling up in defence under their own sticks. This is the last tackle, and McClendon has dropped back, but it comes to Luluai, and Luluai stabs the kick to the in-goal area.
Oh, too late. What
so
a great
close,
effort.
Luke Dawn.
He's done something with his shoulder as well. He's reaching out. Look how he reaches for it, and in doing so, he's injured the shoulder.
Just over the dead ball line.
Not much in it. That really would have warmed this game up. As I say, it's not over yet. They've shown some wonderful attacking football of Bradford in the second half.
They've fallen off again. They've done that a couple of times. They think they've made the tackle.
They're tired.
It's not completed.
Oh, that's a penalty.
Offside.
Well, Williams appeared to not be squared on at the play of the ball.
Harris finds Myers. They're breaking through at will.
That's a knock-on, isn't it?
Went backwards. And it keeps on movement to Harris. Harris is waiting for someone to run onto the football. He gives it to Price. And Price just shrugs one away. It's opened up for Leon Price. And that's the match winner for Bradford now. Tony Ray, the word that Tony Smith used, he will be gutted after that first half. They were 18-0 up, and the game has just dribbled away from them in the second half. What a tipster Phil Clark is, by the way.
Certainly is, and I must say the energy levels have just drained away from this Broncos side. He was certainly facing backwards, deemed by the official Ronnie Lawton, and you can see that it's a tired defence. They can't even move across, they can't even move forward. Look at that, Sykes, normally very strong, was just pushed away with so much ease. They are struggling. It looks so easy, doesn't it? Well, whatever Brian Noble said at half-time, it worked.
And Deacon has added the extras, and it's 35 points to 22 in the Bradford Bulls' favour.
but London have conspired against their downfall, mainly through to that 3 kick-off errors. Cannot afford it. They didn't score a try off the 3rd mistake, but they came up with 1 point. So in effect, you're looking at 13 points. Take that away, we got a ball game.
It's been try after try after try in this second half for Bradford. They've scored half a dozen, they've conceded 1, but they're going to go home with the match, I think. They've won it now, 5 to go, 4 to go in fact. Down to the press benches, Dave Hadfield for the Man of the Match award.
It would have been very different if we'd voted on it at half-time. Some outstanding first 40 minutes from the Broncos. Paul Sykes, Mark McClendon, Lee Hopkins has been good throughout. The second half has belonged to Bradford. Yestin Harris has been at the centre of so much for them, but we've gone for the man who's really muscled them back into this game. Our Man of the Match, Stuart Fielden.
Stuart Fielden gets the Man of the Match award, and he hasn't been on the field for 80 minutes. Well, it's some consolation. Oh, here he is, the Man of the Match. He's given it to Carl Price, and Carl Price goes over in the corner for another Bradford try, the 7th of this second half. It's a remarkable transformation. I remember in the very early stages of Super League, the Bradford were at Halifax, and they fought back from a seemingly impossible situation that day, and they've done exactly the same here. They won it then 26-30. This is a different kettle of fish.
Certainly is, and the man who's just been awarded the watch made the break. Carl Price finished it off well. Good positional play by the substitute Price. Watch how when he gets the ball, he goes right towards the corner. Doesn't even think about stepping. He knows he's got the momentum. He's all power, this fella. But put that down to Mr. Fielden. He has transformed this second half for the Bulls, along with his prop forward mate, Jamie Peacock.
So you're saying that the press have got it right this time, eh?
Yes.
Praise indeed.
Makes a change. It's a difficult job. It's a difficult job, as you know. It's a difficult job to try to lift the spirits of this London Broncos.
Can Deacon really rub salt in? Yes, he can. Oh, what a kick. The 41 points to 22 now, and Carl Price, his 9th try of the season we've just seen. He really is proving one of the finds of 2005.
Well, against
and they must be absolutely on their knees.
They are, and against a tired outfit, that's where the importance of having a strong player off the bench. When you know that the opposition are down on their knees, send someone out that's got all the power in the world, and it pays off.
They're breaking through the London defence at will right now. Myers gets them to halfway. If he'd have slipped the pass, Vinocola would have been over under the sticks. 2 minutes to go. Fielden again. The ball stolen from him. They've got it back in the shape of Hopkins.
Good work as well by the second rower. Fielden just trying to do a little bit too much. Now then, can the Broncos at least finish with a little bit of glory? They've had very little opportunity. It must be one of the most one-sided games I've seen in the second half. London barely, apart from scoring the try, have been anywhere near Bradford's goal line.
They have scored, Bradford, at the rate of more than a point a minute. This is Tyrone Smith. That's a great ball, and I think they are in on that far side with Bradley. Nick Bradley has scored the try for London, so they do send their supporters home with something to shout about. And Brian Noble, I think, will be a little bit annoyed about that.
It was a good effort. This guy knows the way to the line. Good offload there. He's been inspirational, though, as Thomas Lulawai for the Broncos. Instrumental in most things in that first 40 minutes. Oh, great play as well. Good work from the centre, Tyrone Smith, and then the finish. Nothing wrong with that. He has a habit, this fella, of squeezing in at the corner. That's what wingmen have to do. So the flourish that we wanted, if you're a Broncos fan, has certainly come, but it's far too late. And I'm afraid that they will be looking at the tape later this week, will the players and Tony Ray, and be saying those 3 mistakes from the kickoff has been an absolute nightmare for them.
And Paul Sykes' day has gone even worse. He's hit the post with the conversion. 41-26. Bradford have won the match. That's it. It's all over. more than a point a minute in the second half. The first half, I think, least said from Bradford's point of view, soonest mended. But Stuart Fielden, he's won the watch as man of the match. And, well, Bradford have also gone home with the Super League points. But they will not want to discuss much about the first half. They will want to talk about the second 40, there's no doubt about that. Carl Price with his 9th try of the campaign. And they thank their supporters for journeying down here on this Bank Holiday Monday lunchtime to support them. It was 18-0, they trailed at half-time, remember. They needed a quick try at the start of the second half. They got it from Iestyn Harris, and then they flowed in. Reardon, Fielden, Peacock, Langley, Leon and Carl Price. It all began, though, in the 42nd minute when Iestyn Harris went over for that try. Smith, Tyrone Smith and Nick Bradley Kualalawa with the consolation efforts as they turned out in the end for London. But at 22 points to 4 after 48 minutes of the match, London must still have been pretty confident of going in with the victory. As it is, the spoils are Bradford's, and Chris Warren is with the Bradford Bulls coach, Brian Noble.
Brian, I imagine at half-time you must have been a little bit concerned, given that your away form this year hasn't been that flash.
Well, we just managed to keep giving teams starts, and we weren't patient enough. Tried to play around a very, very good and vigorous London team. You know, they started the game probably differently than they had in most of their games. You know, they weren't throwing it around as much, and they were completing, and we weren't. You know, so we're making a tough job anyway, real difficult, because we know they're a terrific team down here, and they certainly showed that up until half-time, didn't they?
You said to me, Brian, at half-time, you said, I would just like to recapture the form of the last 2 games. Why was it missing in the first half? Were you outplayed, or were you just not, your boys not up to scratch?
I don't think we were up to scratch. I think our mentality wasn't up to scratch, and so we spoke about that at half-time. We put that right, and they were far more vigorous in the second half. You know, it's a cruel game in rugby league. You don't roll your sleeves up and do the tough stuff for yourself. It makes it difficult, and we were trying to do the flamboyant stuff before we got the tough stuff. So I'm really, really proud of the players and the way they responded at half-time and the second half, and stayed patient and managed to stay at the right part of the field and did all the things we spoke about in practice. It's a good win for our mentality.
OK, well done, Brian. A well-deserved victory. Man of the match, Stuart Fielden, well done. Mate, that second half there, it looked like you big fellas were just offloading at will. What happened?
Nothing really. I mean, I think first half we were very poor, really. Kind of Jekyll and Hyde again. We've had it a few times this season, but I think we found the cure at half-time.
Brian said at half-time he wanted to recapture the form from the last couple of weeks. I guess that's what he spoke about. I mean, you'd amassed a load of points your last 2 home games. On the road this season, it's been a little bit Jekyll and Hyde. Do you think you've turned the corner on the road now?
I'd like to think so, but I mean, as it's shown this season, you can't just expect something to come and win. Every week teams are beating teams, so we're going to take each game as it comes and hopefully be able to pull it out of the bag when we have to.
Your pack certainly outmuscled London in the second half, and it looked like they were getting a little bit tired. You guys seem to grow another leg.
Yeah, I mean, I think usually we give Martin Clausen, our little dwarfy conditioner, a lot of stick, but I think that's a credit to him really, because in the end, after the warmth and all that, I think we were a bit fitter, so that showed and it enabled us to do that.
Stuart, man of the match performance, well done. Tony Ray, I imagine not smiling too much. Tony, what went wrong? I guess you would have hoped that the first half there was no half-time break.
All right, it's part of the ball game, you know, it's there. We just didn't handle some things in the second half, obviously. You know, we played a pretty tidy first half, and just when a couple of things went against us, I thought we lost a bit of the right. The dummy half runners started going, and they didn't look like going in the first half, and so that was an important part of the game.
You, Paul Sykes, of course, a former Bradford player. Kicking the ball out in the full a few times. I mean, that sort of stuff against Bradford, I guess you can't expect to do that and win the game.
Oh, you're stating the obvious there, you know, you can respond to that too. You know, you shouldn't kick the ball out in the full. Practice is enough, so practice is plenty, so I've got no downer on Sykes here, and I wish him dearly that he didn't do that. But, you know, when it happens, you've got to respond. And, it's probably more key than the ball going out on the full, because then things happen, you know, but three's too many. One's too many, you know, three's a bit, you know, he needs to have get some control back into that.
The back end of the match, Tony, they seemed to pick up a tempo. Did Bradford? Your guys looked a little bit tight. I know you were down to 3 men with Francis Stevenson out of the game.
Yeah, we just, I don't know if fatigue comes in. I don't think that's a fact. Bradford do that. They play good second halves. They always have done. And, so it was no surprise to us. It was just real happy that we responded to. I thought we were really disappointing last week. I thought we responded in the first half, and I liked the energy in the change room after half time. It wasn't to be.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
No worries.
Difficult to respond after a performance like that in the second half, but Tony Ray did. Thanks to him for that. They were 18-0 up at half-time, and they have lost the match in the second half, 41 points to 26. So there's just one game remaining, and they will kick off at the Hull-Salford match at around about 3:15 on this Sunday afternoon. 4 plays 5 in the table, but Bradford maintaining the chase on the top 2, Leeds and St Helens. And London, well, they're getting dragged towards that red zone, aren't they? And Lee, with their victory last night, they are full of it. There we go then. Now then, you know what it's like on Sky Sports.